They say kindness doesn't pay bills, that good hearts get broken, and that the world only remembers those who take, not those who give. But Mara Weaver never believed that. Every morning, before sunrise crept through the cracked windows of Miller's diner, she wiped the counters with tired hands and a heart that refused to quit. She had no family, no car, no savings. Yet she still managed to smile at strangers who never noticed her name tag. Until one day, a woman walked in, quiet, fragile, dressed in black, with eyes that carried more sorrow than words ever could. She sat by the window no one chose, sipping tea as if trying to disappear into it. No one cared to ask who she was. No one even noticed her, except Mara. That small moment, one waitress offering kindness to a lonely stranger, would change both their lives forever. Because sometimes, the person you help today might be the one who changes your tomorrow. Before we begin, if you believe that kindness still matters, that one good heart can still change the world, then pause for just a second. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Raw Stories, where real emotions meet real humanity. Because at Raw Stories, we don't just tell tales. We remind the world that even in its coldest corners, hearts still shine. A cold wind pressed against the cracked windows of Miller's diner as the pale morning light fought through thick gray clouds. The day felt heavy, colorless, the kind of morning that made people hurry through life without looking up. Inside, the diner smelled of burnt coffee, fried eggs, and quiet fatigue. The jukebox hadn't worked in years, but the clock on the wall ticked faithfully, echoing through the near-empty room. Behind the counter, Mara Weaver worked silently. 26 years old, she had already lived through storms most people never face. She'd lost her parents young, drifted through foster homes, and learned how to survive on little more than faith and tips that barely kept her lights on. But her smile, her quiet, stubborn smile, was what made her different. No matter how cruel life got, Mara still believed kindness could make the world bearable. That morning, as she refilled a coffee pot, she noticed the door creak open. A cold gust swept in, followed by an elderly woman wrapped in a long black coat. Her silver feather brooch glimmered faintly beneath the diner's flickering light. She walked slowly to the corner booth, the one near the fogged window that no one ever wanted. Her name, Mara would later learn, was Eleanor Hayes. Eleanor ordered the same thing every day, tea and dry toast. She counted her coins carefully, her hands trembling, her eyes lost somewhere far away. Most customers ignored her, some pitied her, but none spoke to her. Until Mara. Morning, Mara said with a gentle smile. You look like someone who deserves warm toast today. Eleanor blinked, startled. Warm? How special, Mara lied. On the house. Eleanor smiled faintly, the kind of smile that hurts because it's been gone too long. From that morning on, Mara started helping quietly, slipping her an extra muffin, refilling her tea without charging, pretending it was part of the cook's special. Slowly, the silence between them turned into something else, a fragile friendship stitched together with small acts of care. Eleanor told her she loved books and once lived near the ocean. Mara told her she worked double shifts because she had no family to rely on. They shared laughter, silence, and warmth in a place that rarely offered any. But Eleanor never spoke about her past. Not where she came from, not who she had loved, not what she had lost. Then, one morning, Mara found her crying. Eleanor, she whispered. The old woman looked up, eyes red. They evicted me. I have nowhere to go. I'll stay at the bus station tonight. Mara's throat tightened. Without thinking, she reached across the table and held Eleanor's trembling hand. No, you won't, she said firmly. You're coming with me. That night, Mara brought her home, to her tiny one-bedroom apartment that barely fit her own life. She gave Eleanor her bed and slept on the couch. She shared her food, washed her clothes, and helped her find assistance programs. Eleanor often cried in silence. Why are you doing this? She asked one night. Because no one helped me when I needed it, Mara said softly. But I survived because I believed someone would someday. For a week, they lived like family. Two souls who didn't share blood but shared something deeper. Then one evening, Mara came home to find Eleanor gone. Her bed was neatly made, Her things vanished, except for a note on the pillow. Thank you for giving me back hope. Eleanor. Mara felt a hollow ache in her chest. She searched hospitals, shelters, even bus stations, but Eleanor was nowhere. Weeks turned into months. Life went on, but something inside Mara stayed still. Until one quiet Tuesday morning, the diner door opened, and this time, it wasn't the cold wind that came in. It was four men in black suits, followed by two lawyers. The room went silent. Is there a Mara Weaver here? One lawyer asked. Mara froze. Yes, that's me. Miss Weaver, he said. We've been instructed to bring you with us. She hesitated. Why? What's going on? You'll understand soon. Minutes later, Mara sat in the back of a sleek black SUV driving through neighborhoods she'd only seen on postcards. They stopped in front of a massive white mansion surrounded by towering trees. When she stepped inside, the air smelled of fresh roses and piano music. A butler guided her through marble halls until they reached a sunlit room. There, sitting gracefully in a lavender dress, was Eleanor Hayes. Mara gasped. Eleanor. Eleanor smiled gently. Hello, dear. Mara's knees weakened. I thought you. I know, Eleanor said softly. And I owe you the truth. She explained everything. Eleanor Hayes wasn't homeless. She was the sole heir of Hayes International, one of the country's largest private investment firms. She had once had everything: money, family, success. But 2 years ago, she lost her husband and only son in a tragic accident. The grief shattered her so completely that she walked away from it all, from her company, her mansion, her identity. She wanted to see if kindness still existed, not the kind people showed for her wealth, but for her humanity. And that's when she met Mara. You gave me warmth when I was cold, food when you had little, and love when I deserved none, Eleanor said, her voice breaking. You reminded me that goodness still breathes in this world. She reached out and took Mara's hands. I don't need a maid or a nurse. I need a heart I can trust. Stay with me, Mara, not as an employee, but as family. Everything I have will one day be yours. Not because of blood, but because of love. Mara stood frozen, tears spilling down her cheeks. For years, she had wondered if kindness still mattered in a world that so often looked away. And now, standing in front of Eleanor Hayes, alive, radiant, grateful, she knew the answer: it mattered more than anything. That day, two broken souls became one story. One found peace, the other found purpose. And together, they proved that kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing a human heart can give. Next time you feel invisible, remember Mara. Remember Eleanor, because you never know. The person you help today might just be an angel in disguise, waiting to change your life forever. One act of kindness can rewrite two destinies. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe to Raw Stories, where true emotions, real people, and unforgettable moments live forever.